I'm Peppa Pig. This is George. This is Mummy Pig. And this Daddy Pig. Peppa Pig.
Santa can't have forgotten.
George catches a cold.
Today it is raining a little bit.
Peppa, George, put your rain clothes on.
When it rains, Peppa and George must wear their rain clothes. George does not like wearing his rain.
George, you must keep your hat on.
Why?
Because you must keep dry.
Why?
Because you might catch a cold.
Why?
George, do you want to play in the
George
garden?
does not want.
Then
does
keep
not
your
like-
hat on.
Do you want to play in the
Come
garden?
on, George.
Peppa and George are going to jump in muddy puddles.
George!
Yeah.
Because
George does not want to wear his rain.
Peppa, George!
Come inside! The rain's too heavy to play in now! Inside! The rain's too
Oh, George, where's your hat?
George has caught a cold. George has caught a
Oh,
cold.
poor little George. You don't sound well.
Don't worry, I'll ring Dr. Brown Bear. Don't worry, I'll ring Dr. Brown Bear.
Dr. Brown Bear speaking. I see. Put George to bed, and I'll be straight round.
Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear. Goodbye.
Will George be taken to hospital and given medicine?
No, George just has to go to bed.
Oh, so George is not really properly ill. That's disgusting.
Poor George. Let's get you straight to bed.
Poor George. Let's get you straight to bed.
George, you have to stay in bed for a bit.
No.
George does not want to stay in bed.
George, you have to stay in bed until you are better.
Why?
Because you have to keep warm.
Why?
Because Dr. Brown Bear says so.
Hello, where's my patient? Open wide and say,
George is a little bit worried.
Peppa, you're big and brave. Can you show George how to say, brave? Can you show George how to say,
Good boy, very sleepy. The warm milk makes
George has caught a
better.
cold.
Does George need medicine?
No, but he can have some nice warm milk at bedtime to help him sleep.
Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
George is not better.
George, please don't sneeze so loud.
George has been in bed all day. Now it is Peppa's bedtime.
Milk at bed.
George has been in bed all day. George is not better.
George, please don't sneeze so loudly.
Here's some nice warm milk to help you
This is
sleep.
impossible.
George, here's some nice warm milk to help you sleep.
Please don't say possible.
George, here's
The
some
warm
nice
milk
warm
makes
milk
George
to
feel
help you
very,
sleep.
very sleepy.
Good night, my little
The
piggies.
warm milk makes George feel very...
It's so nice and quiet.
It is morning. George has slept very well. It is morning. George is better.
Come on, everyone. It's a lovely sunny day.
George is wearing his rain hat. He doesn't want to catch another cold.
Oh, George, you don't need to wear your hat.
Why?
Because it's hot and sunny.
Why? George, can you stop saying why all
Because
the
it's hot
time?
and sunny.
Why?
George certainly is better. George certainly is better.
The museum.
Peppa and her family are going to the museum.
Daddy, what is a museum?
It's a place full of interesting things that are very old.
Older than you?
Yes, even older than me.
Ooh, really old.
There's one room full of things that belong to kings and queens from long ago.
I want to see the king and queen's room.
And there's another room with a real dinosaur.
Wow! Dinosaur!
And there's another room with a real dinosaur.
Hello, Mummy Pig.
Hello, Miss Rabbit.
How many tickets, please?
2 adults and 2 children.
Hello, Mummy Pig.
Dinosaur!
And a dinosaur.
Peppa wants to see the room full of things that belong to kings and queens from long ago.
Wow! Dinosaur?
But George wants to see the real dinosaur.
Don't worry, George. We will see the dinosaur next. Peppa, these are all the things that the Queen had a long time ago. This is the Queen's special chair. It's called a throne.
It's beautiful.
This is the Queen's special chair. This is the Queen's dress.
It's so pretty.
Look, Peppa, this is the Queen's golden crown.
Wow! What lovely things.
Is the Queen's golden crown.
Mummy, where is the Queen's television?
They didn't have television then.
No television? Where is the But they did have computers.
They didn't have television then. They didn't have computers either.
Television? What did they do all day?
It's very interesting.
And what Mummy, if I was the Queen, I would eat as much cake as I wanted.
Peppa imagines being a queen.
No.
Much cake as I would eat. Yes. More cake, please.
Of course.
Delicious.
Is there anything else you would care for, Queen Peppa?
Yes. More cake, please.
Is there anything else you would care for, Queen Peppa?
Yes.
Come on, everyone.
Of course.
Coming, Daddy. Daddy, I'm Queen Peppa. You must bow when you speak to me.
Oh, I'm most terribly sorry, Your Royal Highness.
And what do you do?
I'm your daddy.
That must be very interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting.
And what room is this?
This is the dinosaur room.
The dinosaur room? George, this is the dinosaur room. Dinosaur! Where is the dinosaur?
He's somewhere in the room.
I can't see him. Where is the dinosaur? Must be very
Somewhere in the room. Actually, Peppa, he's very big.
Madam Gazelle, Peppa has fallen over.
These are the bones of a real dinosaur.
First, Madam Gazelle
Dinosaur.
then she puts a plaster on it.
George imagines being a big dinosaur.
I have noticed that Pedro Pony isn't here today. No, Susie, Pedro is in hospital. We are going to do this.
The dinosaur room is George's favourite room.
I don't want to get you lost.
My favourite room is the King and Queen's room.
And it looks as if Daddy Pig is already in his favourite room.
Which room is that, Mummy?
The room with the cakes in.
Daddy Pig's favourite room is the museum cafe.
Come on, tuck in.
Oh, yes. This is a very nice room.
Why aren't you asleep? You don't look sick.
Not very well.
And they put it in this plaster cast. Wow.
Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig have just made breakfast for Peppa and George.
Breakfast is ready.
Got a plaster too. Do you want to draw on my plaster?
Peppa has red spots on her face.
Not me.
Children
I
are
don't
all
feel
doing
very
drawings on Pedro's plaster cast.
Oh dear, Peppa, you don't look very well.
Don't worry, I'll ring Dr. Brown Bear.
Carrots.
Dr. Brown Bear speaking.
Peppa is not very well. Her face is covered in red spots.
Put Peppa to bed, and I'll come straight round.
Pedro.
Dr. Brown Bear has come to make Peppa better.
Hello, Peppa. How are you today?
I'm not very well.
Stick your tongue out, please. It's not anything serious. Peppa has just got a rash.
Do I need medicine?
The rash will clear up quickly, but if you like, I can give you just a little medicine.
Yes, please.
I'm afraid it doesn't taste very nice. Open wide, please.
Until your leg is better.
Disgusting.
You are a brave little one for taking it so well. Peppa must stay in bed. I'll call back later to check that she's better.
Can Peppa have visitors?
Oh, yes, she can have visitors. The rash isn't catching. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Brown Bear.
Mummy, can I get up now?
Dr. Brown Bear says that you must stay in bed for a little bit, Peppa.
But it's so boring.
Dr. Brown Bear did say you could have visitors.
Can Susie Sheep visit me?
Susie Sheep is Peppa's best friend.
I'll ring Susie Sheep's mummy.
Visiting time is over.
Hello, Mrs. Pig. May Peppa talk with Susie, please?
Hello, Susie.
It is another school day. Peppa and her
Very
friends
well.
are playing
I
in the
have red spots on my face. Has the doctor been? Yes, Dr. Brown Bear was here. He said I wasn't very well and that I was very brave. So are you really ill? Yes. It's not pretend. I have to stay in bed. Dr. Brown Bear gave me medicine that tasted really horrible. I'm coming to see you. I'm going to wear my nurse's outfit.
Susie Sheep has come to see Peppa. Susie is wearing her nurse's costume. Danny Dog and Rebecca Rabbit have come along too.
Pedro likes running
Hello,
around having
Peppa.
fun.
Hello.
Everybody likes running around
How do
having
you
fun.
feel? I'm not very well, Susie. I have
Peppa
to
and
stay in
George are
bed.
playing
What
at
can we
the
do
Three
to make you
Zebras'
better?
Little
You
Susan
can get
and
me
Santa
some
are
orange
making a
juice.
jungle with play.
Okay.
George has made a dinosaur.
Peppa
out of
seems to be
play.
quite enjoying herself.
Peppa and Zoe are having a
Thank you,
doll's
Susie.
picnic.
Do you feel any better? A little bit. Daddy, ask my mummy if I could have some ice cream. And Rebecca, could you bring me some flowers from the garden?
Dr. Brown Bear is here to see if Peppa is better.
Ah, good. The nurse is already here. How is the patient?
I'm not a real nurse. Just pretend.
I see. Would you like me to take a look myself?
Yes, please.
I say, no more red spots. You're completely better.
Aren't I still a bit ill?
How do you feel?
I think I should stay in bed a little bit more.
I fancy a game with this ball in the garden. Who wants to join me?
Me. Me too.
Well, I never. A complete recovery.
Okay, come with me.
This is where Mrs. Zebra makes her pottery.
Let's make this tea set.
What's that?
Clay. All pottery starts
Good night,
off like
George.
that.
But it's soft.
Peppa and George have fallen asleep.
We need
When
it
they
to be
wake up,
soft so we can
it will be
shape it.
Christmas Day.
Later, it won't be soft.
Mummy Zebra is making a little cup on the potter's wheel.
There, 1 cup. Would you like to try?
Yes, please. It's all slimy. It's all gone wrong.
Making a cup on a potter's wheel is not easy.
There is an easier way to